It's getting dark, I feel the I feel the I feel the It's getting dark, I feel the I feel the
I found you in a crowded, empty place. You felt familiar, but I didn't know your face. As we're standing in the room, the roar of the silence submerged us. Our connection felt so strong without even sharing our first touch. And I can't pretend that you're not on my mind. Too soon.
Hey, what it do? What it do, y'all? Welcome on over to the Aipx Gaming channel. We are getting ready here for some Spring Cup action. I am your boy Q. With me today, back at it once again, Starcoin Hero. How you doing today, homie?
I'm doing fantastic. We have another regional on our hands, the second of the spring split, and we're going to hope that this one is the best yet. Aipx has a little bit of more of a lenient bracket, so that's only going to be good things for us.
Yeah, we definitely saw, I think, the team saw a lot of success early on in the first event, right? Unfortunately stumbled a little bit on day 2, but still at the point where, as far as when we talk about the rankings towards the, as far as for the region itself, still technically in alive as far as we're trying to get that second spot. But also, I really like this role that Aipx kind of gets to play over the course of these next 2 regionals, kind of getting to be the bracket buster, so to speak, for some of our other teams going in. Everyone kind of wants to be friends, but also knows that they might be gunning for him at some point in the bracket too. So things should be getting really interesting here these next couple of weeks.
Oh, definitely. And Aipx has a little bit of kind of the initiative on who gets that second spot in Worlds, because we're in about that sixth spot. And we control who gets the better of the point system. And if Aipx can win these next two regionals, get a couple of lucky breaks with like Orlando Pirates and Nixa and all that, we might have a shot gunning it for that second spot. But honestly, it's just kind of fun controlling who goes and who doesn't.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting. You had mentioned earlier how, as far as for starting things off in the bracket this go around, one of the easier looks. I mean, this is going to be one of those opportunities where we don't see any of those players or any of those, top four really contest until we're in the top four ourselves. We don't have to cross against Limitless, Orlando Pirates like we have earlier in that upper bracket here. Now we will have to see White Rabbit more than likely in that second round, but we have to remember that in the Spring Open, the White Rabbit was the team that we also knocked out of that upper bracket too. So it's going to be interesting. I feel like Aipx looked really good against White Rabbit. But then White Rabbit had a bounce back in that lower bracket and looked really good in themselves. So I feel like they're going to be looking for a little bit of revenge, You
gotta wonder if they are. And also, right after that, we have most likely Nixa, because in that little region they got Nkasi, Omnius, Vendetta, and Nixa. And Nixa, former regional champion, the favorites to go through. But let's not forget, Aipx has beaten Nixa before. Nixa, arguably the second, some people even call them the best team in SSA, because they beat Limitless a time or two, actually taking the regional from them. Nyx is one of the best teams in SSA. Aipx has beaten them before. We can definitely do it again. That's a match that I'm going to absolutely be looking for. Maybe, well, not today, but probably day 2, if Aipx Gaming is able to get these first 2 rounds out of the way.
Yeah, I think when you look at the bracket's very interesting, right? Because you've proven success against the people that you would have to face in order to get into that top 4. Now, what I do have to say is kind of interesting, especially looking back at that Nixa squad, is they are a team that, as you mentioned, they have seen some success, but also they kind of at times feel like this very Jekyll and Hyde team. And I think it's when you talk about for Aipx, when they show up, they're usually pretty consistent, which is one of the things I really like about the squad. Even when you talk about the pickup of Eli heading into the spring split, it was a really solid first outing for them. They've looked better throughout scrims heading into this event here. So I feel like when you look at the way the bracket's set up, even when you do get later in and we talk about in that top 4 scenario or even into that, upper bracket, which is, I guess, technically really top 3, right? Once you're that far, you're talking about that's when you're facing those top guns. And then at that point, you've got the momentum. This is one of those splits that I feel like you can really make a statement for yourself and be like, hey, maybe we haven't seen the most success through the rest of the season thus far, although I think we've definitely seen some flashes of greatness. You can really make a stamp on things, especially if we end up seeing some chaos in the bracket like we saw last event.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we saw Nixa drop in 9 to 12th, losing 2 to 3 to Astronic, the exact regional after they beat Limitless in the grand finals 4-3. Like you said, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a very good way to describe this team. From going to beating Limitless to dropping against Astronic, you just don't know which Nixa you're going to get. Hopefully we get the Mr. Hyde side of Nixa this time around, because, I mean, hey, an easier game's an easier game. But Nixa is a very strong team with 3 absolute cannons. It's just up to them whether they want the cannons to hit or miss.
It's going to be kind of interesting seeing how some of these teams bounce back after kind of the way everything broke down in that Spring Open, right? We do know that the Pirates are boot camping now. We saw them, I would say, stumble a little bit, but then be able to regain that footing in the lower bracket as far as for them. Cosmico had a really good first outing for them too. We saw, I don't want to really call it, I know you and I were kind of talking about it on the break, and you had mentioned the random success of French class. I feel like maybe random might be a little unfair, but they definitely popped off, I think, a little bit more than a lot of other people would have been expecting. So now that teams have kind of, I guess, have their expectations of some of these teams, I'm going to be interested to see kind of how the brackets break down this event.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see French class again. They placed second in the last regional. And realistically, they are a team that Aipx Gaming might be facing in the upper bracket final. Once again, those top 4 teams are going to be really dicey because we don't have to play any of those really high-ranked teams until the upper bracket final, whether it be Limitless or Pirates, or I would even say French Class. We get to wait a while to play the really juicy matches, and I'm really excited and somewhat nervous to see how well the bracket goes, because of course with easier brackets come harder end games, and when you keep Limitless and OP down to the wire, that's when things get a little dicey, because of course it's better for us, we get further on in the bracket, or we should mathematically, but that just makes the end game so much harder when you have so much firepower coming into it.
Yeah, I do gotta say though, I feel like even when you look back over the course of the entirety of this year, and I understand that, obviously Eli only coming in the spring split, but you still have the original duo, right? They've been here throughout the entirety of it. We've been able to see that even when they do happen to go against some of the top teams within the region, there have been times even when I said during the winter sprint when we happen to go against a Limitless, we go against the Pirates, the only people who give them a better run than Aipx were doing were like those top 2 teams. So I even feel like this squad, as the kind of time has continued to go along, they continue to gel. And I felt like, even though maybe some people feel like as far as Shadow might have been a little bit faster player than Eli, and they feel like it was a little bit of a downgrade, I feel like Eli seems to be fitting in so well with this duo. They really seem to be in sync. I'm excited to see what they can do during this event here. Unfortunately, though, I am hearing that we are going to have to wait just a little bit to see what this team is going to be doing, because our team is going to actually be getting a automatic pass into that second round with a forfeit from Unity.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate way to go forward, because now we're likely going to be just completely dropped in the deep end without that much practice. White Rabbit Gaming is a team that's very good, one of the better teams in SSA. So to not get that necessarily warm-up game against White Rabbit, it might do us some harm. Like you said, White Rabbit probably looking for revenge. And going in with a not cold Aipx, but not as warm as they could be Aipx, it doesn't worry me, but it does raise some suspicions.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they can do with this downtime here, right? You can almost imagine that we would more than likely try and see if we can find ourselves over into watching a game or two. I don't know if that's going to be covered over on the main broadcast or not, but I think also, I almost wonder if the flip side of it, right? Sometimes we see when, I think especially looking back to previous events, where having those, I want to say this lightly, I don't want this to come off too brash, but the not so stiff competitions early on in the round helps give the team a little false sense of security. So now you already know that when you come out on the field, although you were probably already looking at White Rabbit Gaming being your opponent in the second round, now you can just strictly start preparing for that and getting the mental in that space. You don't have to worry about wearing out the mental in case Unity happened to come out and catch you by surprise,
That is very true. We saw it happen last regional. Astronic actually catching us really off guard. We had to fight our way tooth and nail, claw our way back into it. We did end up winning the series, but I mean, these things happen. That is one thing about these, like you said, not so stiff competition teams, is sometimes they just have a really good day, catch you off guard, and sometimes you don't know what to do and you end up losing. And Aipx going down to the lower bracket in the first round, definitely not ideal. So I guess getting that free pass does help out a little bit. It gets you ready for the really stiff competition early.
Yeah.
Personally, I would rather have the warm-up, but that's not how it's happened, so it doesn't matter. We go on to the next round. And one thing I want to also bring up, what you said about Eli, how he's the newest player on Aipx, I think this is going to be a really good showing to see some of Eli's full potential. This is the second regional.
Yep.
He already has a regional under his belt with the Aipx squad, the original dynamic duo of Original and Lackstar. So to have another regional at his hands, giving him some time to really fit in with the squad, I think is only going to do great things. This is probably one of the best chances that Aipx has had in a long time, if not the best we might have in the long run.
So since we have a minute here, Starcoin, since we've already got the move on to the second round, are we going to go ahead and just expect White Rabbit then to go ahead and pass over Lupo Rosso in the first round, and that's who we're going to be seeing in the second round, do you think?
I got a feeling that White Rabbit is going to be the team that we're going to face. Lupo Rosso's solid team, but they've only had 6th to 8th finish, and White Rabbit, they have placed top 3, I think multiple times, if I'm not mistaken. White Rabbit, very good team. So they're going to be a very tough team for Lupo Rosso to beat. No shade to Lupo Rosso, but White Rabbit, I think, has just played at a higher level for longer. I think we're seeing White Rabbit.
So let's have a little fun here then. So you said, I think, coming then from the upper part of our quadrant of the bracket, or I guess half of the bracket, you're expecting then Nixa and Nkosi to be the two that have to square off to see who would be against White Rabbit Aipx. Is that correct for top 4? Or for upper bracket semifinals, I guess?
I think so. I think it's going to be Nixa and Nkosi and White Rabbit and Aipx in the quarterfinals. That's what's statistical, but that's what the statistics say. But it's also just from seeing what the regionals in the past have brought us. That's probably what we're going to see, because those 3 teams are insanely good.
Yeah, I mean, and especially when you look at kind of the matchups, again, it's kind of similar, like you said, nothing against really Lupo Rosso or even to Unity had this game gone down, but it just kind of feels like that step up. It's kind of interesting how that region works. You know, it's how the region works. It's like limitless, kind of, I don't want to say too far ahead. Everyone's like that head up above the rest, but then like the rest, like that middle pack right behind them, kind of a hazy area, but then kind of in that middle pack area is kind of had a little step off, and those teams need to kind of be stepping up and to that plate if they're wanting to continue to compete. But I'm going to be interested to see. I wanted to get your opinion because we are going to have a little bit of time here, obviously, and so we're going to be able to be back. We're going to see if those matchups break down that way, if that's going to be the case here. But you know, make sure you guys are holding tight. I can't unfortunately give you guys an exact time because we have to obviously wait for those games to finish up. We'll try and keep you guys up to date in the chat. We'll be back after a break.
Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Get money, motherfucker, get money. Let's get money, motherfucker, get money. Get money, motherfucker, get money.
welcome back. I bet y'all didn't expect us back that quick. So just want to let you guys know what we're about to be doing. Figured since we had us a little break here, we're actually going to go ahead and tune on in to the actual ACGL main broadcast. Let you guys sit in. It looks like right now they've got Nixa versus Vendetta, currently game number 2. As soon as we have an update as far as who we're seeing, when we're seeing it, we're going to let you guys know. So make sure y'all are staying tuned. We appreciate you. Peace.
Understand that scoring from a corner, very difficult to test time against Nixa. We're not going to let you have that space. So you need to try and manufacture something. Listen to
Yeah, nice period of play here for Vendetta. Just keep sending the ball in at the goal, trying to force a mistake out of Nixa. I know because they are really that Nixa are hard to force out of the field of this caliber, but don't get goals any other way. Zyro is going to be the man to make that happen now. He's going into the corner, going to send it over the top. I want to really be able to score anything that way. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Zyro chasing down Option across the national park. That's what I wanted. Turn the tempo up, turn the aggression up, and really look to make him uncomfortable. Nitro, he's going to do that now with a block off the wall. Here we go. He's going to work it forward. So Vendetta, I like what we're seeing here from them in game number 2 so far.
Yeah, 100%. They've got some good structure across the field. I mentioned their rotations earlier. They've always seemed to have someone back besides that goal that was scored, where they went a little bit too hard into the attack. But other than that, doing a good job of looking after the backboard like we saw there. A risky jump from Zyro doesn't manage to come off, and it opens up the opportunity. Archeon gonna pounce on that. And 2 now to the good here for Nixa.
Yeah, he's kind of left in the lurcher. That miss, and he's kind of just drifting forward. Archeon with the vision to see that top left corner was wide open, and he's not going to make it a mistake from there. So now 2-0 lead here, still 3 minutes on the clock. Nixa, they're not going to be happy with just 2 goals. They want to score 3, 4, 5, 6 as we saw in the previous game. But Vendetta, like we've been saying, Halters, good play from them, but it's those small mistakes like you saw off the backboard there that are the difference between the good teams sort of ranked, 12th to 16th, and the great teams ranked 12 and up. So that's something you can kind of look at as an up-and-coming team. Like it's these small mistakes, it's these little plays that are the difference between us and the top of the field.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that's all that's really costing Vendetta right now. There haven't been really long periods of extensive pressure coming out of Nixa yet. They haven't really had to. Even when they've started looking to build, and I mean they would certainly want to, they haven't had that total control of the field. And that's been interesting. It's been just breakaway plays like this. Skill steal, gonna secure a third, and I mean, again, it didn't come from a long, big passing play or anything from Nixa. It's just beating their opponents the ball when a mistake comes out.
Yeah, just grabbing your opportunities with both hands. It's quite fascinating to see, right? You'd almost feel like a team like Nixa, or at least as good as we know them to be, that kind of want to dominate passages of play, just continue to control the ball like we've seen Limitless do in the recent past. Just constantly have control of the ball, build pressure over and over again, but that's not really how Nixa's playing here. They're kind of like, you do your thing. Every opportunity that comes our way, we're going to take advantage of. So they're kind of happy to let Vendetta feel like they're controlling the course of the game a little bit, but then just pounce whenever there's an opening, just like that.
What is amazing right now, and we're not seeing Nixa's team play flashing out right now in brilliance. These 1, 2, 3 plays, everyone getting involved, the mechanical brilliance. But what I am seeing is the size of the opportunities that they're making into goals is minuscule right there. I mean, skill steal, we saw it in the first game from the tight angles there. That was a beautiful jump into the air, managing to find it from a challenging angle, shall we say. And still, it looks flawless. It looks perfect, and it looks planned from the second he took off from the ground. And that is a sign of an amazing team. It's not about how many mechanical plays you can put together. It's about making the one look flawless.
But I'd be fascinated to see going forward throughout the tournament here, if this is a playstyle they've adopted, where they slow the tempo down a little bit and look for those opportunities, whether that's just something they've decided is working well against Vendetta, and how well this will work against a team with a bit more firepower up front, because you don't really want to wait on the ball in Rocket League at this level. You don't really want to just allow your opponents to have control of the game. You kind of want to be playing a little bit more on the front foot, but I'd be interested to see going forward, is this how Nixa is this how Nixa wants to play? Or is this just a read of the game? If it is just a read of the game, then that's amazing. That's perfect for them, right? That's what you want to see out of a top-tier team. Look at what your opponent's doing and find the best counter for it.
Yep, 100%. It's okay, our opponents are challenging us decently, and it was something that I said in the first game was that Vendetta wasn't maybe challenging as fast as they needed to be. But now, definitely, they're within striking range at any stage of the ball and managing to put on that pressure for Nixa. So Nixa adapt to it, they just keep themselves a little bit more patient, they make sure to keep those rotations up. They're always there to cover themselves if needs be and then take advantage and really put in 5 solid goals. Every one of them are looking to come from good mechanical understanding, good basics they've executed well. And when I say basics, of course, I don't mean skill steal. He's just doing ridiculous things. Secures the team another game. Yeah, this one a clean sweep and a little bit less of offensive opportunities coming out there for Vendetta.
Yeah, you look at that first goal now in the first game, and you do feel even more and more like that was just a bit of an anomaly, right? You just find the waves overlap in the wrong way, and suddenly there's an opening. We did see a little bit of a double commit between 2 of the Knicks players at the time, but Knicks is not making those sorts of mistakes now. They're warm, the monster energy has hit the bloodstream here. And they are firing not on all cylinders, because that implies a tempo that they aren't really putting out there. But at the very least, they've got that brain functioning, reading the game expertly, striking on any opportunity. And the scoreline tells the tale here.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that scoreline is the shot difference. Vendetta managed to get up 5 shots in that first game. Now they were restricted to just 2, and neither of those looked really that potent. So a big difference in terms of the control of the game. And I think it comes down to what you said. That control by Nixa, the tempo, the reading of the game means that they don't have to rush it. They don't have to dive through it. They're not having to pre-jump any of their saves or any of their shots. They're just waiting for that ball to pop out. And I have sensed a little bit of impatience coming out from Vendetta, where maybe they're starting to throw 2 people. Maybe they're not setting up their plans from the beginning. They're kind of reacting to their offensive opportunities that they're starting to create and then trying to push it all the way home, and it's not working out for them. So a little bit more composure from Vendetta. The idea is, can they take even one game against this champion that we have here? Literal champion, the regional champions. Nixa setting themselves up for a clean 3-0 sweep if they can clinch out game number 3.
Yeah, and more importantly, just building some momentum here after a very, very disappointing spring open here. And this is a good start for them. We needed something dominant out of them. We needed to see no mistakes and big scorelines, and that's exactly what we've seen here, with the exception of that first shot. And Low, once again, no mistakes here. There was nothing fancy about this. There was nothing complicated. Archeon sends it in, a defensive error, and Low says, "Thank you, sir. I'll have another."
I don't even know if that was so much a defensive error there. Skill Steal just understanding that he doesn't have a shot there. He doesn't need a shot there. They've already pulled out 2 defenders, and maybe that's a defensive error. No offense to you, Sun Phoenix. But the double commit onto that first attempt was kind of a desperation play. But they saw it, they sensed it, and they realized that Skill Steal just needed to make that pass. And as I say that, it's going to get a calculated shot, shall we call it. Yeah. Every time I pull one of those off, Calculator comes out in Nitro. Unfortunately, without the boost to be able to get there. Still, Nixa challenging the back line without having to do anything really flashy.
That's the kind of soft goal you don't see from the pointy end of the tournament, right? You'll tend to have those kind of things covered off by your top 4, top 8 teams. So Skill Steal never really looking under pressure there, in spite of the power and accuracy of that shot coming through. Something to be said for what's happening here though. Heatsy though, he's gonna have to back up here, grab the boost, try and look to work this forward here in the air. Okay, beats 1, low on the ground, looking to cover it. Does so, but he kind of pinches it forward. But that's what I'm talking about. You see, you've got a player like Archeon just ready for anything that happens. Set up defensively, looking to make something happen. Redirect, won't find the net there. Set coming off the post as Heatsy now looks to build something. Skill Steal with a touch, not going to get anything done. Now up in the air, Low has it covered off the backboard. Yes, he does. We'll send it forward, and once again, clean, crisp play here from Nixa, just keeping the pressure from building up too much.
Yeah, And again, Vendetta going a little bit too aggressively into that, trying to read it off difficult angles, trying to react into those shots. They've got another opportunity now, and there's a
there
good
we
shot.
go.
That's a pass into a play. Vendetta flourishing a little bit and learning from their mistakes, it seems. Skillseal unable to get that away far enough. And it leaves it open for Nitro. Quick read off a good angle.
Very nice, and nice skill there with a little bit of I think it was a flip reset or a ceiling shot, just to pop it over the defender there and make that play happen. So Vendetta not dead just yet. This game is surprisingly even based on the scoreline here, just 2-1 in favor of Nixer, but you get the feeling Nixer are just happy to wait for an opportunity, and if even just a slight window opens up, they will pounce on it or make it happen. Archeon with the shot. He's not happy with a 1-goal lead. He'll get himself another one.
But I like this. Again, it comes down to awareness of the play. Doesn't go for the straight shots there. Instead, sets himself up with all the time in the world to be able to set up a flip reset and sends it home as cleanly as you could like it. Nixer, they've got the simple plays down. They've got the team plays down. Oh, that's a beautiful setup there. Low instead trying to find Archeon. But they've got all the different aspects that we've come to know and love about Nixer. And throwing a little bit of mechanical flourishing there at the end. I like to see it, and it makes me confident that maybe the old Nix is back and we're going to have a cracker of a weekend.
I think that's a good word, confident, right? That's what we want to see out of Nixer, and that is exactly what they're showing us here. They're not showing us flashiness, brilliance, mechanical dominance. We know they're capable of that, don't misunderstand me. What they're showing us here is confidence in their own abilities. As I say that, Nitro finds his second of the game. Vendetta are tired of hearing us talk about how good Nixer is. Instead would like to show us what they can do. And to be honest, Altruism, they've been doing a great job of that this series in spite of the scoreline.
Yep, 100%. Zyro was in the perfect place for that. He manages to pull off a fantastic pass. I don't know if that was exactly what he planned to do in that pass, but being in the right position was all he had to do there, and he does it so well. Oh, unfortunately, instantly punished. But let's go back to the previous goal, because Zyro set up that play by putting it towards the center. Nitro was there, crowding around the goal line, and it meant that they managed to take whatever opportunity that came out of it. Unfortunately, Nixer just have a little bit more at this stage.
Yeah, and there again, it's just minor defensive foibles. The player on the backboard not covering that ball properly, player drifting forward on the back post defense, just small stuff like that. Nixer's going to gobble you up if you give him those sorts of opportunities. That's what they've been doing throughout the series here. Zyro going to work this up here. Nitro just try and drop it in front of the net, but won't get the opportunity here. As Nixer look to build something up now. Low going to move forward. Archeon, what can he do here? 18 boost to the good as he looks to set something up for his teammate. Skillseal, does he get it done? Not quite, but does he set it up for Low? No. Low going for boost on the left-hand side there. So Nixer again, just slowly building it up here. Slowly just picking away at this defense, looking for an opportunity, ready to pounce at a moment's notice.
Yeah, whether it's the 50s or just readjusting their position, not diving in too fast, not full boosting, they're doing everything right in terms of controlling the game and putting themselves in the best position to react when it does come out. Skillsteal now doesn't have the breakaway position that he wants, but he's created a space upfield. Now he hands it off to his teammate. Low doesn't manage to come out with possession though. It's up to Archeon to do some work and uses his teammate Skillsteal there to try and re-engage his attack. It's not enough just yet, and Archeon's passed a little bit slow towards the field, but Low just decides to go backwards, and Nixer, once more, patient. Their first attacks don't work, so they're going to retreat all the way to their back line, regain possession if they can. And Vendetta have a minute left to try and create something now if they want to try to pull back this 2-goal lead. Fortunately, stagnant.
Yeah, just it's Nixer, man. They don't let you in, and they're kind of a team that is just gonna control the game, and we've seen them do it so effectively now. Just let you do your thing. Fine, come at us. They've got control of the play. They've got control of the positioning, so they're happy to just let Vendetta do their thing, and then stuff like this happens where still find opportunities. A little bit of a mistake here from Low. That's what we want to see out of this team, but Archeon will cover that off here. But pressure is building now. We're seeing them be a little bit more desperate on the defense here on Nixer, and hopefully Vendetta can take advantage of this and put the deficit to just 1. With only 10 seconds on the clock, Altruism seems unlikely Vendetta are going to make anything happen here, especially with Low. How was that one? Top wins. Clean as you like.
Top wins 100% there. Oh, I mean, we talk about an upper 90 shot. This is literally clanging nearly against those posts there. And that came from a just reactionary redirect. The little pip off the top of the car. A clean shot. And, you know, we talked about some of the mistakes that... Okay, one more. Just have to add one more to the scoreline there. Definitive victory for Nixa. But we talk about the mistakes that Nix is making. It certainly doesn't feel like they're making enough to make a difference. You know, a top team is going to punish those mistakes, but there's still not enough of them that it would have made, I think, too much of a change between these two teams as we clinch out the third game. Nixa going to be happily going through to the next round, where they're going to face a potential rematch against Nkosi Ballers. Unfortunately, though, for Vendetta, they're going to start their long run if they want to make it any further in this tournament through the lower bracket.
Yeah, but we've mentioned it now. Vendetta are here to learn, here to gain some experience. Coming up against Nixa round one. Yes, Nixa are not as hard as we've seen them in the past, but they're still Nixa. They're still second seed regional champions. So you would expect them to work their way.
Feel my heart melt. You walk through those doors for Christmas. You're all I want. All I wanted was you. 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 Now here. All I wanted was you. Feel my heart melt. All I wanted was you. I would never wait for something to let it go to waste. With everything at stake, I thought I would take it all back. I just wanna make this thing last, but we're running out of time. We were doing alright, holding on, but I'm losing the fight. Could we run away? I know if we just hit ground, running, closing off all the world with the light coming in, bending before we break. Don't you know you and me, we can run away. You and me, we can run away. Run away, run away. You and me, we can run away. You and me, we can run away. You would never stay for someone that wasn't worth the wait. Counting down the days. I know when I'm moving onward, I just wanna trust in your word, but we're running out of time. We were doing alright, holding on, but I'm losing the fight. Could
Don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away from me. Don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away from me. Don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away from me. Don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away from me. Don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away from me. Don't walk away, don't walk away from me. Here we go. Don't walk away from me. 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 Don't walk away from me.
Back to time. I've been busy running my mouth dry, speaking lines of how to find higher hopes and sensibilities meant for me. Let's dive in, create a problem just to fix it. The perfect fit. We're back to time, catching up on all the things we missed. All our interests. Look around, try to find the people who stand out. The faceless crowd, lost and found, picking up on the speed of sound to faster ground. Moving on, I can't hold back all the new progress, what I've done best. But how about now, showing off all of the things you missed, all your interests.
All right, and we are back, and pretty well as kind of we predicted here, Starcore, we're going to be going against White Rabbit Gaming here in these upper bracket quarterfinals. Actually going to be running it back from what we had seen in the upper bracket quarterfinals just a couple weeks ago in that spring open. Now, what's going to be interesting here is with Aipx having that time off, we know that they did have some time to scrim Orlando Pirates. We're looking, it was scrims, take it for what it is, right? But I'm curious to see with White Rabbit Gaming, they come in, do they have that chip on their shoulder? Can they get the revenge, or does Aipx here, are they going to be able to hold them off? What's your thoughts?
I mean, that seems to be the question, right? Rabbit, they have that official warm-up game. Of course, we did get the scrim against Orlando Pirates, so that's going to help us out a little bit. But I've heard that we were looking kind of okay, not necessarily to that Aipx tier like we've been seeing over the past few regionals. We're going to hope to shake off some of the, not necessarily the cobwebs, but just try to shake off some of the ring rust, if you will, and try to throw our best game at White Rabbit. And of course, this is the team we beat before. If we can beat them once, we can beat them again. And White Rabbit, I don't think they were looking too phenomenal against Lupo Rosso either. The first 3 games were decided by only one, including Lupo Rosso actually stealing game 3 away.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely would have figured, I think you and I would have figured that goal differential would have been a lot bigger, especially over those first 3 games where we saw it realistically. When we went into game number 4, it was a 1 goal differential, because 3 games decided by just 1. One thing I am, a little weary about putting too much weight on how well they looked last event, simply because we do know they had to use a sub the first game. And sometimes I wonder, having to get that sub middle of the series, right? How that would have worked things out this time around. Looks like White Rabbit Gaming should have the full 3 this time right off the rip. I'm curious to see how Aipx can do controlling the pace. I think you and I agree. We've been over here a couple of times on the channel together. We know that they're best when they control the pace, but their pace isn't necessarily super fast aggressive, right? It's somewhere in the middle, right?
I would have to agree with that. It's a nice middle tier team. It's not a team that's going to just completely overpower you with how many shots and how quickly they can take the shots. It's that nice in between, and I think Aipx does play that line better than most teams in the region. Limitless is more just a very hard hitting, fast team.
They're just gonna run you over.
Exactly. Limitless is more like a Freightliner train. Aipx is more of like a sophisticated subway, because Limitless is just going to hit you as hard and as fast as they can. Aipx, they're going to try to outmaneuver you, and it works for Aipx until they go up against Limitless, but one of these times is going to change. Every time that Aipx has faced Limitless, or even Orlando Pirates or White Rabbit, Nixon, all those teams, they've gotten better each time, so eventually it's going to go our way. This might be the regional to do it.
Yeah, I've also always felt that when we get to those points, when we are facing those top 4 teams, and I kind of preluded to it a little bit in the intro, when we were kind of waiting to see if we were going to end up having that first game, which we ended up not, that I feel like when you look back even to the winter, right? Well, some of those winter events where, team looked solid until they did run into an Orlando Pirates or did run into a Limitless. When you look at the rest of the tournament, how the games played out for like Limitless or Orlando Pirates, they were put to the most test against, it felt like, Aipx multiple times, even though maybe it didn't necessarily go the deepest in the series. And what I mean by that is goal differential being very tight, every game kind of being till that last minute. So I feel like they've had a lot of promising moments throughout the season to know, especially now with that pickup of Eli. We talked about it, looked really good during that spring open here. You mentioned it just a second ago. This could be the event that they put things together. I love it.
Yeah, Aipx has, I would say, the strongest shot out of any regional that we have had. We have a new third. They have a regional under their belt. They have a not necessarily easy bracket, because at the end of the day, a bracket's a bracket. The hard teams are going to stay floating until the very end. But we have a more lenient bracket. We get some of the not so high tier teams in the region, and we get to just kind of fend those off for later. This is a very, very good choice, a very good chance for Aipx Gaming to really make their mark on the region and maybe come away with their first regional win.
Yeah, you would. I mean, I felt like even when we saw over the course of the last split, it felt like you just said, every event it felt like getting inching closer and closer. And I want to see here, this time around, we know this is the full 3v3 with White Rabbit Gaming from the word go. You're still in that upper bracket semis, just like quarterfinals, just like last time here. This is a point for you to really, I think, not only make a statement to the rest of the region, but I think really to let yourselves know we've got the duo that's been here for a while. You mentioned that new third. Hey, we're here to play, and we are still technically eligible on that board for that second spot for wild card for a region, right?
That's only going to fire us up more. I'm not going to lie. The chance Aipx slips in is unlikely, but mathematically, it's possible. If Aipx can win these next two regionals, which I can see happening with how Aipx has been playing, I can see it happening. And if, say, Pirates, Nixa, who else? I think it's a White Rabbit as well. Let me check real quick if I can find it. Oh, no. But yeah, just like the second tier teams, because Limitless, they're going. It's as simple as that. They already have qualified, but Orlando Pirates, Nixa, White Rabbit, even say French Class, they're in front of us. If we can maybe push them down and don't let them get close to winning, maybe top 4, top 6, then Aipx has a real shot. Right now, Aipx sitting at 6th in the region with 63 total points. Orlando Pirates in second with 87. If Orlando Pirates and Nixa and White Rabbit miss top 3, top 4 a couple of times, and Aipx win those two, Aipx has a shot. It's unlikely, it's going to be difficult, but it is possible, and that's enough for me.
And you know what? It looks like we're already ready to get on down into game number 1 here. We're going to be seeing the squad from Aipx out on that blue side. White Rabbit Gaming on the orange. And game number 1, a good point to really be able to try and dictate the tone early. And you see they've been able to push up into that offensive zone, but haven't really been able to maintain the control. But every little attack from White Rabbit Gaming thus far has kind of been met at that midfield line. So, you know, we talked about before, game number 1 sometimes can be about reading the opposition, but thus far, I like the pressure that we're seeing from Aipx.
Definitely not letting White Rabbit Gaming get too much time to breathe. Keep on pelting them with shots. Eventually, one of them is going to get close, and one of them might even go in. So keep pelting. So far, we haven't had too much danger coming out from either side, but Aipx definitely taking the initiative, which is what I like to see. More of it is what we need. Eli, look at that, booting it down, forcing Friction to come up, make the plays. Now Lackstar can take this one, try to ride it the long way down.
Yeah, you know, I'm really enjoying seeing the control right now from Aipx, and even also the fact that I feel like, oh, that's good. Oh, the double commit, neither got a touch, and that's going to be a wide open net on the opposite side unless you can get a rotate back. Big demo, though, to prevent that push into the zone. Nice save here as well to prevent the attack, and that's going to be a nice little breath of fresh air here, a little bit of relief, but you still need to be able to get the clear because Eli is not going to be able to do it here, caused by just a little bit of friction. Let's see what I did there. Demo, though, is going to prevent any sort of additional sort of push out of the zone. Aipx's defense has been coming up really stout here these last 30 seconds.
Really has been. Been tested on offense, we've been tested on defense. Really good looks. We didn't let anything go in, despite White Rabbit having a pretty easy shot. Now Aipx can focus their sights back on the attack. They've got a shot, no goal yet. It was saved away, but Lackstar is going to try to reset it. Centered up, a little high, met on the ball. One more shot, maybe? No, Sikino's going to clear it.
White Rabbit Gaming's defense coming in very, very aggressive there, doing a good job of kind of controlling the front of the net, just not with the saves, but being disruptive. We saw one bump, but I think we saw another one just trying to kind of be a little bit of a nuisance off the ball, which kind of really doesn't allow Aipx to get much control or get much comfort, I should say, while they're in the offensive zone. But you can still see they got the ball. Lackstar with the pass that's off the backboard left for Eli, unfortunately not set on target.
Little off, high and wide is the story. 2 minutes to play, we're still scoreless. 2 goose eggs on the table. We will have to see which one of these teams is able to take the initiative. Aipx definitely been the favorite so far. They've had a lot of shots, they've had a lot of opportunities. Might have something here. Eli wants to push it in. It's so close. Not quite. Oh, the 50's lost, and White Rabbit's going to score off of it. Blundered away by Aipx.
Oh, and that's another one there. It's the second time you've been knocking on the doorstep, and it is this time. Wee Casper comes up with a very big counterattack. Nobody back to be able to even get any sort of contention. And you now have 90 seconds here in game number 1 to be able to find a response.
Yeah, not a lot of time. But with how much pressure you've been putting on, it is absolutely possible. Nice
100%.
clip shot by Lackstar to steal that ball away. Forces White Rabbit to just rotate a little further down. It's now Aipx. Gonna transition onto defense for a little bit. Don't want to stay there for too long. Time's ticking. The less time on defense, the better right now for the boys in blue.
Yeah, and you do see at least enough there on that 50-50. You were able to get the bump to prevent any sort of continued attack, but a good follow-up by the teammate there to be able to keep things alive. See Kino going to go to the sky. Doesn't get enough to really get a good shot onto goal, but kept things alive for a second touch there. No, this could be another situation with nobody back off the crossbar. And it's still left alive. Good defense keeping things going, but you've only got 30 seconds here to try and flip the field and put it on the back of the net, and friction. No, not like this.
28 seconds left, 2 goals to goal now. And Original, I don't know if they didn't have boost. Looks like they had boost. I just decided not to jump for it. Probably thought they had more time. They did not. White Rabbit going to go up further. Kickoff goal, maybe. Yes, Eli off the kickoff keeps Aipx close. And now this game might not be as over as we thought.
All right, it's all good. There's still 25 seconds. 25 seconds, Starcoin, means you don't need another miracle shot like this, right? You just need to get enough pressure off the kickoff, and there it is, sending all things into the offensive zone. It is a little bit wide. You needed to be able to win that contest against Kino here, because now he's going to be able to go the opposite way. Misses the first one. He's going to be able to avoid 2. Passes it over as a wide open net. Friction's going to be able to find the back, and they're going to be able to put themselves back up by 2.
That one will probably be the dagger for game 1. Aipx played really good until they didn't. They lost.
I mean, that was a beautiful play, honestly. I got to tip my hat to Wire. That was a nice little play by Kino to set up the pass over. I can't say so much as far as other defensive breakdowns. It was just a beautiful play, to be fair, right?
It was a good play. But Aipx let way too much go through. Like the 50... No one on the third line, or no one on the third man spot. Aipx just let a 3/4 field shot go through. And White Rabbit able to sneak in a last second dagger to end game 1. And also the whiff from Original. Not the best way to start off the regional, but we still have more games to go. If Aipx can play like they did offensively again, then we have a real shot at just taking the next 3 games. But defensively is where we need some work.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing here, right, when we look at how the stats kind of line up, it lets you know just how close things were, close on shots, close even just on the small things, the demos, the touches. It lets you know, and also we saw just the eye test showed you, Aipx spent quite a bit of time down in that White Rabbit Gaming side of the pitch. So I do agree. I think when you look at the positives here, Starcoin, I think you can say, hey, we've got a really good chance to be able to win these next 3, but it's got to start in game number 2, because otherwise you give up game number 2 and your back's against the wall.
Backs against the wall, nowhere to go. Reverse sweep is needed, and reverse sweep's very uncommon. You see him every once in a while, but they're just not the ideal position. When you're down by 1, it's fine. You have another game for buffer. You don't want to get any further down than that. It's in Aipx's best interest to just win this game, and starting out like that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, that is really tough there. I mean, and unfortunate just second touch off the back line, and Friction passed up to, and no one on the side. You see Original had gone for that boost in the corner, not able to get there. Only 6 seconds for White Rabbit Gaming to regain the lead in game number 2.
Original gonna go to the sky, make it a little high. Second shot is going to be in. So Eli ties it up. Don't let White Rabbit get too comfortable just yet. Aipx, very nice play off the kickoff.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Eli's going to find the back of the net, and that's going to be the equalizers. Only 12 seconds, so plenty of time for either team to really seize the control. You feel like, though, on the side of Aipx, you want to make sure that they're playing aggressive, but you and I have been over here and called plenty of games together, Starcoin. They don't want to just make sure they're playing overly aggressive and allow that backside to have too many like opening like for the counterattack, right?
Yeah, I want to keep those counterattacks nice. White Rabbit gonna just steal that ball away. But now Eli and Lackstar going at it, cut off. Original going to slow this thing down, gets it past 2, and keeps the attack going. Shutting down any chance of a counterattack for White Rabbit. Backboard, Casper's going to take it away. And Lackstar once again rolling back into it. Not letting White Rabbit get anything whatsoever.
Yeah, you see they go the opposite way, but see Kino just a little bit too much, gets a little bit too high off that backboard, allows Aipx to now go the opposite way with it. The problem is, can he maintain that control? It doesn't look like it, temporarily, but Original gonna knock that away, and just a shot tad bit high. That would have been a beautiful way to be able to take the lead. Offense still going strong, another shot, but another save. I believe that was Kino in the back of the net.
Another one almost goes through. Third time's the charm. Eli does it again. Give him another and give Aipx the lead. First time in the series.
That's what you need to do right there, right? When you get the second shot, when that ball comes off the rebound, especially if you have a third player rotating in from that midfield point, you got to capitalize. At that point, the ball's been floating around the front of the net. Players are so out of position, and Eli doing exactly what you need to do. Now trying to see if they can double it up, able to get the contest. I thought might have been able to do enough to keep it in front of the net, but you can see at least keeps the ball down that White Rabbit game.
Back pass, Lackstar. Oh, demo on the back line. Very bad for Aipx, but I believe it's Original to clear that away. That could have been major danger for Aipx. White Rabbit, very nice game recognition, but it doesn't work this time. Aipx too quick. Nearing the halfway point, Aipx still in the lead, and Aipx in a very nice spot. Original, Eli, and Lackstar definitely waking up.
Yeah, I'm liking to see the boys starting to come together here, starting to get that juices flowing. They're starting to feel a little warm. There's still plenty of time to play here, though, so you need to make sure that you're putting plenty of pressure down. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Nice little play to maybe try and go the opposite way. When the first contest goes to the corner, question is, can they get the clear? Lackstar going to be there to get the contest at the midfield point. I love the pressure in the offensive zone, even when they don't have the ball here, Starcoin.
You gotta love it. No matter what you do, you're going to be pressured, whether you have the ball or not. It's a very good look from Aipx. Ooh, almost a really good shot. A little high. Aipx is going to stay in the lead for now, and these demos from White Rabbit Gaming are really pushing us to our limit. Aipx has to really focus on that game and somehow avoid the demos.
Yeah, you can see White Rabbit starting to turn up the heat, and you can understand why. That's going to be a shot that comes in from Kino up into that upper left-hand corner, and feels like a similar tale of the story here. 90 seconds left, and we're tied up.
Seems like White Rabbit Gaming honestly going for demos more than they're going for the ball. I'm going to be really interested to see the in-game stats of how many demos did this White Rabbit team have, because they are just out for motor oil. And Aipx is kind of letting it happen. They have to keep avoiding, and right now they're not doing too good of a job at it.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for you right now is you've spent most of the time, even with some of those demos, the demos have really only kind of what helped lead to the counterattack, right? Which means that you're still putting a good amount of pressure down just with your basic 3v3 game within itself here for Aipx. But with a minute left, it does feel like we're starting to reach that point where the next goal is probably going to be the decision maker. So it doesn't matter how much time you're spending down in the zone. We see a demo in the back of the net. Thought it was going to build up space. Unfortunately, not going to be enough. That ball is going to go across the field, though. And we do see a second player is going to be there going to the sky, but that's just off the top bar. That's tough.
Shot accuracy from Aipx has not been on today. I've seen quite a couple of those where it's just right off the goalpost. I like to say that the goalpost does play favorites, but at the end of the day, it's about the accuracy. And Casper, you can't get much more accurate than that. Call that dead center off the 50.
Yeah, I mean, good touch by the first touch by Laxstar. Just not enough to get the clear. Followed up, still finds the back of the net. 25 seconds here. You gotta find the equalizer. Otherwise, you are at risk of going down into that lower bracket here with just one more loss. And you want to try and make something happen. You've won the kickoff, but you haven't really been able to get a quality look over at the goal. It's now gotten clear. You get a big clear here on your own right. Maybe you can make one last play, but it's Kino looking to make the clear 3, 2. And with that big hit there, I do believe that's going to be White Rabbit Gaming taking game number 2.
Aipx misfiring so much. And White Rabbit's just taking advantage of him, winning game 2 by a differential of 1 goal. Eli kind of low-key carrying, 2 goals, 6 shots. And the demos from White Rabbit's insane. 6 demos, 2 for Friction, 4 for Casper. And Aipx simply needs to step up. No other way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, Casper was out there headhunting. We had seen Casper, I think it was the 2nd or the 3rd goal. Got the demo that just completely cleared up the net that allowed it to happen. So now here for Aipx, can you pull off the reverse sweep? Because your back is against the wall. You've got 4 minutes and 55 seconds to really make a statement here.
And this is where you got to make a statement. Simple as that. You lose this game, you're down to the lower bracket. Second round lower bracket's not necessarily where I would want to go. So I think Laxstar is going to try his best to keep us in the upper bracket right there. Nice. Not necessarily redirect, pretty close to it. Bar down in 1-0 for Aipx.
I love the beautiful team play there. It went out to the left wing, back over to Laxstar, who just drills it home from distance, basically from the midfield line. Really making a statement. That's going to be another shot that's just a tad bit wide. You do see, though, Laxstar keeps it alive, dropped in front of the net, but it was Friction, able to do enough to be able to get the redirect, sends things to the opposite half of the pitch. Right now, though, you are able to keep things alive. Nice demo here to be able to create a little bit of space in front of the net. Beautiful play in front of or in the air, though, I should say, from the White Rabbit Gaming defense. Really kind of disrupts the attack from Aipx, but that shot also gets blocked.
Ooh, miss by Laxstar. Is going to push this one back the other way, but Eli is there to keep the pressure on White Rabbit, keep them on the hot seat. Now Aipx needs a counterattack shot. Oh, big whiff defensively, and Casper does it again. Casper, very fitting, because it seems like every time Casper gets a hold of the ball, Aipx doesn't know what to do. It's like they're seeing a ghost.
It's tough there. I mean, you saw a little bit of a whiff coming out, and also a little bit of help from the goalpost. Gets just enough of it to make sure that once it goes up, it also goes to the inside there, and now going to be looking for a response. You got to make sure that you can put more pressure down and make sure that you're still sitting back on defense, because we have noticed the last 2 games, shots technically favored Aipx, but it's been the counterattack that has really come back to bite them in the rear.
That has Aipx starts really good, and White Rabbit reverses the momentum, and all of a sudden Aipx does not know what to do. The quick transitions is really what's getting Aipx shot in the foot, and really the only ones that are shooting themselves. White Rabbit's just playing to their weakness very, very well. The only way to fight that off is to try to strengthen up the weakness, and Aipx not doing a very good job of it.
You're going to see coming in here, at least you've got the ball for now. You've got Eli. Unfortunately, the second touch to no avail. And now actually Lackstar losing their contest as well. Does get the demo onto Friction, creates a little bit of additional space here, but question is, can you make anything happen? Just a little bit of a back touch, but it only delays the attack just for a second here from White Rabbit Gaming. 2.5 minutes. You need to find some momentum just a little bit on that Aipx side. It feels like you can get a little bit going in each of the last 2 games, but you haven't been able to really take the reins and be able to really maintain that control. And you need to if you're going to pull off this reverse sweep.
2:15 to go, and Blackstar brings it down. Centered for Eli. It's got to be something, but Eli decides to abandon it. But Original try his hand at it, gets demoed for his troubles, but not before touching the ball, setting up a shot for Eli, but he's met on the ball yet again. Demo for Eli as well. Centered, can't quite put it in. The counterattack gonna come through for White Rabbit Gaming. Aipx not letting it happen though. Eli steals it away, still centered. Finally, White Rabbit have a chance to breathe. Aipx really pummeling.
Yeah, you can see him really turning up the heat here, and understandably so, trying to make something happen. Question is, can they deliver here quickly? You don't have very much time to let it cook. You need to deliver right here, right now. You've only got 80 seconds. The good thing for right now is you are at least tied, but we've seen White Rabbit Gaming only needs a single counterattack, and it does look like Aipx been maintaining that control. As long as you can make sure you're staying stout on those rotates back, you can maintain the control for the last 60 seconds, but it's a goal you need, not just control.
Minute to go. Yeah, you are definitely correct. Sure, these little one-off goals, they help, but what will help even more is controlling the ball. In Aipx Game 1, we saw them control the ball really well. Got a couple unlucky breaks. White Rabbit was able to take Game 1. Game 2, Game 3, the control has just been less and less. Need to find a way to revitalize that as we have another shot, and it's off the backboard again. The accuracy from Aipx simply not good enough. And we're going to remain tied going into the last 15 ticks.
Question is, can you at least hold your defense up to make sure you force an overtime? Eli goes to the sky and at least has things going the opposite way. That's going to come off the back wall. Can you get that direction onto the for a shot? Doesn't look like it. No, that is going to be an overtime for game number 3. Golden goal opportunity here. One shot is all it takes, but unfortunately on the side of Aipx, one shot is all it takes to send you to the lower bracket.
Exactly how it goes. White Rabbit already has the first 2. And all Aipx needs is one more blunder. And Aipx going down to lower bracket. White Rabbit in a very good spot. Aipx not so much. Aipx absolutely needs this goal. Cannot let White Rabbit Gaming get anything.
They've been doing a great job of, getting on the doorstep on the side of Aipx. And they just had a couple of opportunities. Usually you need a break or two, right? Because you need to play yourself into those tight contests, and unfortunately there haven't been no breaks for Aipx in this game. The couple of opportunities that you need to go out your way have all gone towards the way of White Rabbit Gaming, which means right now in game number 3 in overtime, you need to be able to make your own luck. Getting demoed isn't going to do it, as we actually see another one coming in as well. As a bunch of space here for White Rabbit Gaming. Luckily they have not been able to capitalize here. Maybe with that counterattack. Oh, imagine if that would have gone in. That would have been nuts.
It would have, but it doesn't.
Oh,
a
no.
little high shot. Original saves it. No need to worry just yet. Minute and a half in overtime. Aipx still trying to find an opening. It has been back and forth for the entire 90 seconds. But Aipx now might have something going. Eli pops it high.
There it
It's
is.
going in. Aipx stays alive, denies the sweep, and reverse sweep dreams are alive for the quarterfinals.
One shot is all it takes for Eli here to be able to at least send us to a game number 4, and it keeps the hopes for that reverse sweep alive here, Starcoin. And let's take a quick look at these stats, because this time around, things favored a little bit more over towards that Aipx side. I gotta say, it definitely felt that way, right? It felt like we spent a lot of time over on that White Rabbit Gaming half of the pitch. It felt like the big things here, though, is the demolition's a little bit more 50-50, which may have been exactly what they need to do, I think, in game number 4, is try and push that needle a little bit farther to the right.
Definitely. I don't think we're going to be able to avoid the demos from White Rabbit forever. White Rabbit, excuse me. We're going to have to try and fight back. When we get an opportunity, just go for the demo. We saw what White Rabbit was doing in game 2. Absolutely demolishing everything that Aipx had in mind. Let's do it back. Give it a shot. And we did it. We kind of pushed that needle a bit closer. White Rabbit still was, I think, 1 by 1 or so demolition. But it was a lot closer. And we see another goalpost shot denied. Aipx so close. No, not again.
Oh, another play where it's just you're banging on the doorstep. It's just, unfortunately, no one home to answer, and it's still going to be knotted up, but you can see quickly going back up into the offensive zone, doing a good job of being able to quickly regain that control on most attacks into their zone from the White Rabbit Gaming squad. We are going to be seeing Casper. I believe that's the player, if I'm not mistaken, that's had the most demos throughout the game. That's the left from the goal, and again the defense, from White Rabbit Gaming. Their offense might not be coming up big, but their defense stonewalling for Aipx here.
They're really being the thorn in Aipx side, not necessarily the thorn in the side, but more like just the wall, completely blocking them, not letting them have any chance to do anything whatsoever. But doesn't matter. Aipx gonna keep on banging at that wall, keep throwing punches, throw the rocks, playing it with hammers.
Oh, no.
It's okay, Eli has that boost. No worries just yet. Eli gonna try to clear it away. Not the best cleared, still dangerous. But it definitely could be worse. Aipx going to take it to the corner, and now Original's gonna clear it away. Never mind, it's gonna get shot back on. And White Rabbit in firm control of this ball.
Yeah, you know, the script has definitely been flipped here in week. Casper, speaking of flips, getting fancy-dancy in the air, and at some point you stay in the zone for too long, you're going to, just over the hood for the first goal of game number 4.
Casper is doing sensational things for White Rabbit Gaming. If you're a White Rabbit Gaming fan, well, first off, get out of the stream. I'm kidding. If you're a White Rabbit Gaming fan, your favorite person right now was Casper, because he has been going insane the entire series, and Aipx has not had an answer.
Yeah, I mean, Casper just doing a really good job of disrupting on both sides of the ball. I mean, especially on defense, but even when the team goes into the offensive zone, I mean, we talked about earlier, had the one goal, which kind of you could say was really the decider, where they cleaned up in front of the net there. They always seem to be headhunting, and I think right now you got to make sure you're watching out for them. Another shot here and another save from the White Rabbit Gaming defense. It really feels like it's their defense that's been carrying. Beautiful job by Waxstar with the beautiful equalizer with 2 minutes and 21 seconds left.
Very nice goal. See Kino jumping when they shouldn't, and give that a 1-all ball game. WRG not safe yet, because Waxstar still there, wobbing all of the balls.
Oh, unfortunately, though, I thought that was going to get filthy. I didn't realize we still already had a player back. Good job here as far as make sure that you don't allow too much progress. That ball was floating in front of the net for a second, but you got yourself some time. You got yourself at least the equalizer, which means the next goal gives yourself a really good breath of fresh air. And it feels like the defense for White Rabbit Gaming at some point has got to start collapsing, right?
It's got to. It's simple physics. If you keep on hitting it, doesn't matter how strong it is, eventually it's going to break. Whether it be sooner or later, it has to break some point, or so you think. But right now, it just seems like White Rabbit's defense is so secure that nothing you do is going to break it.
I do like, though, with the sense here, if you can get one good counterattack, and remember, that's kind of what's been working for White Rabbit Gaming these last couple games, right? As Aipx controls the ball, they're up in their offensive zone for quite a bit of time, and they come up with a big counter. Original, though, is going to be able to get the second goal, and there's not, I would say, too much time, but just enough time where you still need to make sure that you come out guns blazing here.
Yeah, definitely. Guns need to be... Sorry, guns need to be blazing because this game not over yet. White Rabbit, we've seen what they can do. They can score quick. Aipx can score quick as well. But right now we're up. Let's not even need to score quick. Let's just hold them off, take it into game 5, and try to complete this reverse sweep. Game 3 and 4 have been very nice on the side of Aipx. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to see the pressure coming down. 40 seconds left on the clock here. If you can keep at least the pedal down the middle, play keep away. But you, a beautiful job here. That's going to be a third goal from Eli, and that's going to allow that 1-goal lead to double up with just 30 seconds left.
I don't think anyone saw him. Eli just steals the ball and just rolls it on into the net. That is unreal. Aipx extending the lead, and White Rabbit now, momentum is completely gone.
It's extremely tough. Casper gonna go the opposite way and cuts things in half, and there's still time. 17 seconds left. Beautiful play by Casper. We had talked about how they'd really been able to deliver with the aggression and with the demos, but this time delivering, cutting this lead down to just 1.
Now Casper has been single-handedly dismantling everything that Aipx has had in mind, but White Rabbit still needs to score one more before the game is over. And Aipx are gonna make it as hard as possible. Ball is still up, but it's just a volleyball spike needed. No shot, and there it goes. Aipx going to take game 4. Reverse sweep on the line. Only one more game and we'll have it.
And it now becomes a best of 1. And man, so many of these games, Starcoin, you can see kind of what we're looking at here, where those, like, the bars are so close to the middle. It's so tightly contested, man. But I like to see that now Aipx slowly seeming to be able to get the answers when things matter the most. And now we're going into this game 5. Momentum on the side for Aipx Gaming, and we could potentially be looking at ourselves moving up into that upper bracket semifinals here. That all comes down to how these next 5 minutes play out.
5 minutes decides who stays in the upper bracket, whose day is over, and who goes down to the lower bracket. That's all it comes down to. Game 5 about to get underway, and Aipx has come so far. Let's finish the story.
Here we go. Away we go. It all comes down to this game number 5 here in our upper bracket quarterfinal. In case we have anybody tuning in who may be just tuning in, Aipx again on that blue side, White Rabbit Gaming in the orange, and we would like to see Aipx really seizing that control early. That's going to be a big clear going to the opposite side, and you can see I thought that was going to be a demo, was setting up for one. Eli needs to make something happen, falling back. It's another little bit of assistance from Lackstar as well, and I like to see that early, even though it's a little bit back and forth. The trips into the defensive zone for Aipx not taking too much time, and they're able to push into their offensive zone quickly.
Not ideal situation for Aipx, but Eli, everything in his heart to save that ball. See, Kino carries it, pumped away. And now White Rabbit trying their best, but Aipx lets nothing through. Keeps on pushing. Casper sets it up, but Lackstar clears it away. And finally, Aipx gets something going, boots it down the other way. Original gonna try to turn it back around, but it's gonna be Lackstar. Puts a shot a little too high. But Aipx in firm control of this ball. Center, ooh, friction saves.
You see, though, that they're back at this point, knocking on the doorstep, and I had told you, Starpoint, a couple of times in those first couple of games, there were a few of those 50-50s where things just, you weren't getting the ball rolls the way you would like them to. This time around, if you can get one or two of these opportunities to be able to just, whether it's roll on the inside of the goalpost or get just enough underneath to make sure that it clears that upper to go inside, you might be able to get what you want. Was a nice short day for the 3-day series here for our Spring Cup. But I mean, right now, White Rabbit Gaming's defense looks good, but there it is from Eli.
A hot seat has been turned on. Turn it up to max. Eli once again scores first. Aipx in the lead.
Right before he got demo too, he got the shot off just in time before the demo comes across. And something, what was I just saying, Starcoin? You need the ones where sometimes you just need the break, and that's the first one for you. Now you got to maintain this control. We've seen that you've been able to keep this ball pressed up in this White Rabbit half of the pitch. If you can continue to do so, a good defense right now is really a best, or a good offense is really a best defense, right?
Gotta feel like that. Right now, that's got to be the strategy. Original, ooh, a little high once again. No one's there on the second touch. Eli gets beat. The Lackstar gonna keep it up. Nice show of mechanics. Can't quite push it through. Original's gonna try his hand. The sent back over the other way. Lackstar gets up a little higher. Wee Casper wants to flick it over. Saved by Eli. Still dangerous, but it's finally secured away by Lackstar. 2 minutes to go now. Aipx still in the lead.
What you're looking for here, you got to make sure you can continue to get these trips to be really short in the defensive zone. Nice pass, second touch here as well. It's going to be a nice shot that is going to get deflected away, but the thing is, it takes time, it takes boost, it gets them out of position over on that White Rabbit game. As a pass down, it's a shot that goes just a tad bit tall. Eli, though, doing a good job being in position, keeping things alive. That sends just a tad bit wide. Again, the story, time and time again, but you're still in the lead. If you can keep the pressure up on this quarter of the pitch, it doesn't matter if you find the back of the net, right?
It doesn't. Keep White Rabbit on defense. They can't score unless they're on offense. Big brain. Aipx, keep them on defense. They cannot score unless a mistake is made or they're on offense. And right now, Aipx, I don't think they've made a big blunder since about game 2 or early game 3. Game 4 has been perfect. Game 5 has been perfect. And if it can stay perfect for 40 more seconds, we're on to day 2.
Here we go. That's going to be a boost out, and that's going to be going the opposite way. Oh, I was hoping Original would be able to get a nose on to that. 30 seconds left, and you are away from pulling off the reverse sweep. I thought that was going to be a hit. I didn't see anyone contesting, but instead, the ball is still in front of the net. You got to be able to get the clear. You're over one. Unfortunately, not going to get over friction, but it's 15 seconds left. You can see that White Rabbit Gaming still pushed up into this defensive side for Aipx Gaming. You got to get the clear. Oh, filthy enough from Eli to be able to put it over one. You need the clear. Original going the opposite way. It looks like the reverse sweep for Aipx Gaming. As long as his ball touches the ground and Starcoin, they pull it off. Let's go!
Aipx, go all the way. 1-0 is how game 5 ends. White Rabbit stomped game 1, stomped game 2. The flips got switched. And now Aipx have secured their spot in day 2. The reverse sweep comes all the way to fruition. And White Rabbit, see ya. Good luck in the lowers.
Sheesh. Hey, y'all handled the lower brackets all right last time. Let's see if y'all can do it again. But it is going to be Aipx going on, and I'm going to do a quick refresh on my bracket. See if we have a result just quite yet. It does look like it's going to be Aipx Gaming going up against Nixa in that that upper bracket semifinal tomorrow. So that should be a really, really interesting matchup. Early thoughts on that, Starcoin?
I know last time Aipx faced off against Nixa, Aipx did take it. And if we could play like we played in game 3, 4, and 5, we have a real shot. Nixa taking down Incasi Ballers. And once again, we're keeping up that scenario with the first 3 games only separated by 1 goal. And Incasi Ballers actually took game 3 as well. Nixa did come back on Utopia Coliseum, take it 3-0, but the first 3 games are pretty close. And it's going to be really, really fun to see how Aipx handles the Nixa up in the upper semis.
And we do see also already in the upper bracket semifinals on the opposite side, Limitless. Right now, it looks like French Class versus Orlando Pirates has kind of been back and forth. Going to be interested to see how that plays out. We don't have a result just quite yet. Orlando Pirates do appear to be up 2-1 there. So it feels like the bracket has kind of played itself out a little bit more how we'd expect. Not so much the chaos that we saw as far as last event here. But, you know, Starcoin, man, that series, even though we didn't get the first series to call, I feel like I had enough of a roller coaster experience there in that upper bracket quarterfinal to really make up for the 2. I am definitely very, very thankful that I got to come along for the ride with you, my friend.
Yeah, me as well. And honestly, it's probably a gift that we didn't get both series, because I don't know if my heart could have handled 2 of those. Because I mean, man, Aipx reverse sweeps. It does not get much better than that. White Rabbit put up an amazing fight, taking the first 2 games. Wee Casper just being the nightmare for Aipx. But the nightmare was struck away games 3 and 4. Aipx woke up, the nightmare was gone, and it was full throttle from there on out. Aipx on today 2, going up against Nixa in the upper bracket semifinals. I just hit my microphone. Sorry about that.
Hey, you know what though? I know that I don't know about you. I know for me, I'm gonna be really interested to see how the team does tomorrow. Make sure y'all are tuning into the main broadcast tomorrow. Y'all might see a friendly face over there at some point. But we really do appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us over here on the Aipx Gaming channel. If it's your first time through, or if you haven't done so in the past, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on. That way y'all can come right back here every time we're live or whenever we drop content in the future. I do want to give a big shout out to everyone who does all the work in the front, in the back, especially Epidec's worked in the back, making sure, doing all the button press and everything. Honestly, Starcoin and I, we got the easy job. We just get here to show up and yell about Aipx, yell about Aipx Gaming, yell about some esports, and yell about some Rocket League. But for those of y'all who are in here, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us as well over on the channel. Until we do catch y'all back over here, whenever we catch y'all back over here, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all. That's Starcoin. I'm Q. From the rest of the crew, from the front to the back, have a great night.
Trying to step back and see the view from above, 'cause I know that nothing lasts forever. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gotta move the ocean current till the waves flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you.